Hello and welcome to Redefining the Significance of You Time for You, by you, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter, and I'm an empowerment life coach supporting women around the world to lean in and realize the importance of you. The goal of this channel is to provide you, the viewer, some takeaways that will help you shift, change, reevaluate, and or become way more aware of what is possible for you. We have a variety of incredible guests who will be sharing their life experiences that have helped them become the fantastic human beings that they are today, and today is no exception. Every one of us, sometime in our lives, when we've had that what we call free time, frequently feel guilty, embarrassed, and or wrong for taking that time out for ourselves. We are here to help change that and support you to see what is possible for you when you take time for you, by you, because of you. It is an absolute honor and a privilege to welcome my special guest today, Jackie Sebastiani. I am so excited to have you here today with us. It is an honor and a privilege to talk with you today. Jackie has had over 25 years of experience in executive leadership in the corporate world, and she holds a master's in business. She has trained with Dr. Claire Zammit as a transformational life coach and a facilitator. She's committed to her own personal inner healing journey for over 35 years. She has a very deep connection to her soulful wisdom and guidance. Jackie has very successfully navigated major life challenges, including divorce, leaving her corporate job, and surviving and thriving through stage 3 breast cancer. She has raised 2 incredible daughters, and she has been working for 20 plus years as an executive coach to corporate leaders and senior management, and as a transformational coach for over 2 plus years, mentoring women to navigate major life challenges and transitions. She has worked with well over 100 clients, helping them navigate career challenges, including career fatigue and career transitions. She really does help people bring clarity in their life path. Oh, what an honor. I couldn't wait to have a conversation. Oh, so much.
Having that read back to me, I was like, wow.
Yes, you. Aww. It's amazing. It's so great to have you here today.
It's so good to be here.
It gives people hope, I think, to hear that kind of a history, right?
Yeah.
And that no matter how hard life can get, we have choices, right?
Yes. Yeah, and in that kind of what I describe as like relational space with somebody else who can illuminate the path for them, because it is possible and it is hopeful, and it's hard to feel that in those big life challenges, for sure.
And do you find that the people that you support in their journey, do you find that they come to you thinking that there is no way forward, but just have that glimmer, like they know there's something more, but they can't figure it out?
There is what I describe as, we all have it. We all have, like what I always describe as like the whispers. We just have to get quiet enough to hear them. And then we'll have like a glimmer, there's a shimmer, there's something within, and it's a yearning. There's a yearn, and it's like we feel ourselves come and move forward with it. But then life happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the big life things happen, and the small life things happen. And we lose track. We lose track of that, of the whispers.
How do we access that?
Oh my gosh.
Loaded question.
No,
People-
no. It's not a loaded question. It's just such a, I'm so committed to it.
yeah.
I'm so committed to it. And so we create more opportunities with with our day-to-day life to be able to access that. And so, for one person, it could be a simple 5-minute meditation or just of quiet. It doesn't even have to be that complicated, but just where they take 5 minutes where they connect. I always describe it as reconnecting to themselves, right? So a lot of times life is happening out here. And so our energy gets pulled out here. So then we lose connection to this. And this is where the quiet happens. This is where our energy gets pulled. We call it all back so we can hear that message. We can hear the word. I describe it as it could be a word, an image. It's something, it's some information that we then begin to link together. And I describe it as linking together like moment to moment. Or so there's lots of ways, but we create the circumstances. And that doesn't have to be complicated because we're talking about busy women in their families, their work. I mean, there's so much happening, but we have to really commit to just a little bit of time each day.
So much in that. Oh my goodness, so much in that. I want to unpack that a little bit more. So, so much time that's taken away in our days.
For sure.
I find the first response that comes back is, where am I going to find the time for
Sure.
me? Right?
Yeah, for
Which is
sure.
why we talk, why
Yeah.
I created this channel.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's say we have somebody who's listening and going, I love what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
even though she says, I heard Jackie say, it doesn't need to take a lot of time, and
No.
everybody can do it differently. There isn't one size fits all.
Yeah.
But how do I find that time? Where does that time come from in order to give back to myself? Because the list is this, and I'm on the
So,
bottom of the list.
yeah, well, that's the first step,
Mm,
right? As you just said it, here's the list and I'm on the bottom. That has to be the shift, right? Because if we're not caring for us first, we can't show up in the best way possible. If we aren't and that's why it's that flipping it and really begin to owning that I'm the first priority. Pure, because how do you show up in your primary relationships being the best you can be
mm,
when you're at the bottom of the list, right? Because that's what leads to the all that layer, all that burden, right? Because it feels like burden that we're carrying, and that leads to burnout, just literal depletion, exhaustion, and then we've lost total connection.
right.
We're not connected to ourselves anymore, and now it's just a to-do list. Now it's just I've got to get up, I've got to get the kids ready, I've got to get them to school, I've got to get to work, it's like everything is out here, and that all leads to exhaustion, depletion, and burnout, and then it leads into the bigger problems, right? Because that your body will start to reject all of it. At a certain
Mm,
point, we can't continue.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I really like what you said there in terms of the to-do list. And my
yeah,
brain automatically went to, do I want to just do life, or do I want to live life?
that's right.
Right?
And I can also appreciate, by the way, women hearing this thinking that's good for her, but how
Mm,
But I got to get going. I get that as well. And listen, I've navigated it 3 different times in my career where I describe it as I hit the wall because I was doing exactly what we're describing and my body shut down. And the first time that translated the first time into severe panic disorder, where it's like my body, it was just, I had to leave work. For 2 months, I left work and I walked the beaches and I collected rocks and I did all these things. And I felt better. Sure. And then I went back in. And then I went back in. And I did it again. And I came back out. Right. So I've lived it. So I'm not speaking from a place of the utopia. This is like, no. I've lived it. So you have somehow a shift has to happen. And I can't even describe how important it is, that reconnection back to self. Because that's the come from place. I describe it, right? It's from here, right? That's where the energy then emerges from.
I really like what you said in terms of, I did it for 2 weeks and then
2
I went
months.
back
2
for
months.
2 months. Sorry, 2 months. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. My apologies. Did it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was better. And then I went back in.
Yeah.
And the universe was telling me I had more learning to do. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We love her. So we're going to show her that this is important, not just to do for, okay, I'll do that. And it's great, but okay, now I have to go back over here. When it becomes you, because it is from inside out,
that's right.
Then it's no longer on the to-do list. It's in your to-be list.
That's right.
I am going to be me. And so that you time
yes.
is the foundational piece to help you be everything and more without stretching yourself to a degree.
And right? I do want to, and I want to acknowledge something as well. We don't always know how it's going to happen or how it's going or how to do this thing. But we have to trust that we know it cannot continue as it's going. We have to trust that piece. And then we take a step. And even acknowledging that, I don't know how to do this. I just know I don't want to feel this way anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the step. Because then something else opens from there. Mm-hmm. But we don't have to have it all figured out. Because you'll never take a step to make yourself the priority if you wait for yourself to figure it out. Right. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, because you're still disconnected when you're trying to figure it out.
That's
because
right.
You figure it out by going through the process. You don't figure it out to get to the finish line. You figure it out because it's the journey.
That's
I really love what you're saying. And you make a commitment. You make a decision.
That's it. That's it. And that first step is, I feel awful, because it's likely somebody right now who's hearing this, they feel awful. Whether it's they're thinking of, oh my God, do I really have to go back to work tomorrow? Like, it's like there's no light, there's no joy, there's no effervescence with it, there's no shimmer, right? There's none of that. It's like, oh my God, I've got to get up and go do it again. And their body is just exhausted. So it's, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Mm-hmm. And then you open up. And then you start, okay, now what does that opening up look like? And where does that support come in? And who can I get help from? It's those things start to open. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I love what you're sharing too, in that you're saying, I know what I speak of because I experienced it.
Oh,
I know the journey, right?
yeah.
I'm not saying, oh, here, go read this book because, there's some great ideas in it. This is a recipe for,
No,
here's another good
no,
idea, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'm talking about radical life changes that I made as exactly how I'm describing them here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel this way anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And then tell us, was it is it a journey, a process?
Mm.
Is there a finish line where okay, now I've got it? Or is it always
Mm.
growing?
So, as I had shared with you and you just shared with the group, I've been on my own journey since my early 20s. That's a long time. And that's been a commitment for me for it just is. It's part of what I do and who I am. And now that's been my way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know it's not it's not a one and done,
Yeah.
right? Because it's always about prioritizing ourselves and our health and our well-being and our joy and our yearnings, our dreams. I mean, it's like those are priority. And yes, I'm not diminishing those that are struggling with maybe basic life
Yeah.
needs. So it's like I'm talking about this is somebody who's a little bit resourced,
Mm-hmm.
who has that's how I can describe it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that you can get to the point where you are feeling well, right? Where you are a priority. And it doesn't have to be a lifelong thing. I mean, that's me, that's who I am about, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it is that for me.
Right.
But there is that where you just your baseline, you elevate your baseline of
Mm.
well-being. Does that make sense?
100%.
And so that's that starting point is just you've elevated it. And so you feel better.
Yeah.
You feel internally connected with yourself. Your life is more joyful.
Right. Right.
But there's
Right.
maintenance to that.
Love that. Thank you.
You can't go back. I mean, but you don't go back because
Right.
it's once you start to feel better,
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back, but
Right.
it's go ahead.
I was just going to say, but you've changed.
Yes.
You won't be the same because you have changed as part of
Yes.
the process that you've been involved with. So you can never go back,
That's right.
right? You can flip, or the toe go in the
Sure.
water, like,
Yes.
but that's life too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Life
and you're
provides.
recommitting.
Yeah.
Like you recommit.
Yeah.
But you can never unsee it.
Mm,
Like the way you were,
yes.
once you come out of that,
Mm-hmm.
you have a different perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different way of seeing yourself,
Yeah.
and you can never unsee that.
Mm-hmm. And just because this question is coming forward right now, is that beneficial or not, to be
Which
able to unsee yourself? You can't unsee yourself from the past.
oh, I I think it's hugely beneficial, right? Because our awareness has changed.
Yes.
Our awareness of who we are and what we want and what we desire, that's all changed now. That's up leveled. All right, our vibration has changed. Everything shifted. And it's like, who wants to go back
Right.
to being unconscious again?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Perfect. Brilliant. I love
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love it.
Uh,
What are the benefits that your clients have experienced working with you?
wow. So, one of the phrases that I sometimes think of and share is when they're living like a ghost of the life that they desire, right? So when we work together, they then, what I'm describing, right? So this is coming forward for them as well. So then they are awakening to the life that they're meant to live.
Ah,
And it's the most beautiful transformation um, to witness and to be part of with
I
them.
bet.
I just get all lit up for them, right? It's like, it's that, because it's like, that's something that I see with them. And then then they begin and the steps are taken, and it's just, it's that awakening to it, that recommitment and rediscovery to those deeper yearnings, those desires, and making themselves a priority. Because
Yeah.
then they're better, right? There's a, they are the most beautiful being for not only themselves and their families, for their partner, for those that they are working with. It's a totally transformational thing to be part of. It's beautiful.
The energy shifts completely, doesn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? Without them having to lift a finger to make other people see, when it comes from within,
Yes.
when you change,
Yes.
the world around you, your sphere
Yeah.
of influence is
Yeah.
impacted.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the thing that I always come back to is it's that reconnection to self. It's that reconnection, because everything comes from that. And I always describe it as, and it's a practice,
Yeah.
because the world is a loud and busy place, and there's a lot going on. So we get pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Easily get pulled out and pulled
Oh,
away.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, because of the roles that we play,
Yeah.
it impacts how we view ourselves. But if we came at it from a different place totally,
Yeah.
and we focused on ourselves,
Mhm.
the you-ness,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
of you, for you, by you, because of you,
Yes.
then you are anchored. Like you say, that foundation is so, so powerful.
Yeah.
And I love, I mean, you just light up when you when you're thinking of your clients when I ask that question. I mean, just
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
smiling, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just beautiful because
No.
the transformation is real,
Yeah.
and it's just it's such an honor to be in that energy. I am sure, right?
Yes. And it's possible for everyone. Anyone that hears this and thinks that's fine, that's somebody, it's like, no, no, no. Everyone is able to access that. Everyone is. And it's very possible. It's very hopeful. And it's like, it's what I want. That's what I want. I want that for everyone. Because once you feel it, once you experience it, there's a quality of calm that happens first, and then it's an emergent energy that happens because it's all from within.
Right.
It's incredible. Everyone can do it. Everyone can have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's get people in touch with you to
Yeah.
learn more because people are hanging on the edge of their seat going, okay, I'm going to be next.
I
I'm
want that.
next. Let me in there.
Oh,
So we're going to put in the show notes as well, but there are different ways to contact you. You can reach Jackie through her Facebook. She can have you sign up for her email list so you get constant contact. And she also has provided her Gmail account, right? So
yes, for
you
sure.
can message manager directly through an email.
That's
So
right.
we will put all of that in the show notes. And it is basically her name. But again, we'll click all that in the show notes. We'll make sure that people can find you because you are going to be inundated as people watch this for years to come. I know. The beautiful thing about YouTube is that it's pretty much permanent, right? So
yeah.
What an honor. We could go on and on. I know we could. I could pick your brain for a long time.
Well, I want to point something out though. The work that you do is so beautiful. As you mentioned, I have 2 grown daughters. They're in their early 20s, and it's one I have beautifully transitioned to the adult relationship with boundary. It's beautiful, right? The other one is a little bit younger, and we are in that in that experience right now. But I think of you all the time because you've identified it's like this is a real deal. This is a real shift that has to happen from the relationship that was to the relationship as adults with boundaries. So I wanted to just highlight that with you, is how much it's meant to me to even frame it in the way that you frame it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's again about those roles, right?
Yes.
And as we continue to grow and age, children and parent, those roles shift.
Yes.
And we don't know how to shift those. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, okay, so what happens now? And if it's rocky, and of course, there's not one book that works for every. We all know that.
Yeah.
What you did with child A and then child B comes along, and then if in my case we have a child C, and I'm like, okay, neither of those 2 things work now.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we tune into who we are and
Yes.
what's best as part of that process, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really so good to be with you.
Oh, it's so, like I say, we could go on. Well, we might do a part 2. Who knows?
I would love to do a part 2. Yeah. Well, I just get so like lit up about it because I imagine the community of women that need this support.
Yeah.
And it's just it's so available and so accessible to everybody.
It is. It is. And once we get the supports to be able to create that journey and do those shifts, the new awarenesses that become the new reality, life changes.
Life changes.
As it should. As it
That's
gets
right.
to. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for being here, Jackie.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure.
So great to have you.
Thank you.
And for those in our audience, if you are not a part, I have got a few things going on. One, I want to share with you, if you didn't know, I have a workshop coming up. Actually, Jackie, great segue, actually. Healthy Boundaries, Happy Moms, 3 Keys to Navigating Difficult Relationships with Grown-Up Children. That is happening Thursday, April 27th at 4 p.m. And that is a free workshop. We will put the link in the show notes below. If you want to join us, we would love to have you. And I also have newsletters, and I also have a private mom struggling support group. So if any of those things sound like I could use that, make sure that you sign up for any one of those 3 or all 3. I would love to have you. Have a wonderful day, and make sure that you take time out for you every single day, for you, by you, because of you. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.